O Lord my God, when I in awesome wonder consider all the world thy hands has made, I see the stars.
To Kirby's Corner. So today we are changing things up a little bit. I'm mixing things up. I'm changing the format. I got tired of the old format, so we're changing things up. We're making it a little bit more independent journalism-esque. Today we got on Jimmy Mcphail. He's an Irish singer. He is an older gentleman, and he has a rich story. So I think you guys will really like him.
I hear the rolling thunder, thy power throughout the universe displayed. Then sing my soul, my Saviour God, to thee. How great thou art.
Famous Jimmy Mcphail, Irish singer. You mind just spelling out your name for me?
Sorry?
Spelling out your name for me? Spelling out your name?
James. It's Jim Mcphail,
Okay.
Usually. And it's J-I-M. Last name is Mcphail, M-C-P-H-A-I-L.
Nice. And then how old are you? How old are you?
I'm 82 right now.
Nice. And we just met. I'm just clarifying all this for my professor. We just met, through my mom.
Yes.
And how long have you known Jimmy Mcphail?
Probably since I was like 7 or 8, right? Or since the Catskills, we'd go up every year to the Ferncliff.
Yeah.
And Liz was just a baby when she met Jimmy.
I was playing music up there.
Yeah. In the Catskills?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow, that's crazy, actually.
The Ferncliff House, which was famous back then.
So I think that's all the questions you wanted for that. So, okay. So, now that we got all the introductory stuff out of the way, so my professor wants you to talk about a moment in your life that you would describe as a defining moment in your life who really characterized you to the man you are today.
Well, I started playing music when I was 7 years old, influenced by my uncle Albert Healy, who was a famous Irish musician who appeared on television like usually 3 times a week he'd be on. And he played the accordion and piano and classical music, and of course I went into the Irish field, doing Irish music with the accordion, and later on developed into the accordions, which were all, when I first started, they were all just normal accordions, but as time went by they were developed into multi-musical instruments. You could play the piano on the accordion. You could play a trumpet on the accordion. You could play multi-instruments on the accordion. So that's the way the music field developed, with different instruments.
Yeah, it's a very interesting instrument too.
Yeah.
The accordion. Because it has its own pair of lungs in a way,
Yeah.
Because you're constantly,
you have to pump it in and out.
Yeah.
But as time went by, they become all electrified, and you could keep them in the same position and still play them.
Still play them,
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you started when you were 7.
Yeah.
You started playing the accordion when you were 7, and when did you eventually decide to come to America, and how was that, like, the whole transition to America?
I came, first my two brothers came, and then the rest of the family came. There was 13 children in our family, and my mom and dad, and we all came. And then gradually my parents went back after a while, but I stayed and joined the military, went into the military, come back out, and went to Pace College, got my degree in finance and accounting, and went to work for CBS television network.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
I stayed there for 8 years, and went to work for NBC network.
Nice.
Went for there for 5 years, and finished up with ABC network as a director of finance and VP of finance
Nice.
for ABC television network.
That's really cool.
I've met most of the stars that you see on television.
Yeah.
Met Frank Sinatra, Muhammad Ali,
Nice.
Joe Namath, Lucille Ball, Desi Arnaz. Most of the people that appeared on the various television stations over the years
Yeah.
I've met.
And when you were in the military, did you still continue to, like, work on the accordion and on your music, or?
Yeah, I played music while I was there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was I'm guessing it was a good pastime.
And then I was in the reserves,
Yeah.
and I used to play for the troops when I was in the reserves.
That's cool.
So,
Did you ever do, like, the were you a part of, like, the military band at all, or?
no, I didn't join the military band.
Okay.
But when I was in the reserves, we used to go to Camp Drum, which was way up north at the border, almost the Canadian border, and Watertown, New York.
My sister's there.
And a few times I forgot my accordion, and they flew me back to New York to bring my accordion up to play for the troops on the weekend. So
That's cool.
it was pretty interesting.
Yeah. So, so when you came here, I'm guessing you came here. You came to America.
I was
New
about
York.
19 years old when I
So
came.
you're my age.
Yeah,
That's crazy. That's wild.
I was 19 years
And
old.
Were you dropped off in the city, in New York City, or were you
We were dropped off at Kennedy Airport,
at Kennedy? Okay.
and I had a big Irish suit on, a big heavy wool suit, and I had a mop of hair which was much greater than yours probably. And it was 95 degrees that day. I thought I had landed in an oven. I thought they were trying to cook me.
Yeah.
I got in the car, which had been sitting in the sun for an hour for the plane to come in from Ireland, and I got in the car, and it was over 90 degrees in the car. I thought I was going to die before I reached my aunt's house, and she lived in the Bronx.
Okay.
So
So you lived with your aunt for a while?
I lived. I lived with my brother. Had an apartment.
Okay.
He was over in. He was in the Bronx also.
Okay. And then, so like in your younger days of your music career, you're in the city, you're in the Bronx. How long do you end up staying there? Like, how many years?
Well, I was there in the Bronx until basically I got married. And then we came up to Orange County. And what influenced me coming up here was the neighbor down there come up on a drive one day, and I saw the area, Monroe.
Yeah.
I liked it. It reminded me of Ireland. There was, nice landscapes, mountains,
Yeah.
mountainous area, lakes, and I arrived in Monroe, and a few years later, when I started working and got married, I came up here, bought a house. I've been here ever since.
Nice.
In Orange County.
Nice. Yeah. And so you visit the Catskills and you do stuff up there, or like?
Yeah, well, while I was working at CBS,
Okay.
my bosses, one of them was involved in purchasing this resort in the Catskills called the Ferncliff.
Okay.
And he asked me if I'd play music for him.
Yeah.
So I went up and played on the weekends. And I played up there for a number of years, probably until I quit playing. I was there for about, I guess, I was there when I was 19 till I was probably 78.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's one hell of a gig.
Yeah.
Wow.
But it was on weekends only.
That's cool though. That's very
Yeah.
cool. So you'd spend your
I worked
weekdays in the Bronx.
CBS during the week
Yeah.
with my normal finance job, and I played music on the weekends.
And you go upstate and you play music. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah. And so later on in your career, does anything change? You keep playing music, and you join the American military when you're how old?
I'm sorry?
You joined the American military when you were how old were you?
I was, I guess I was 20, but I went into the reserves.
Okay.
So we spent 6 months on reserves, and then we spent like 5 months going away on weekends, and over the summer we'd have to do 3 weeks up in the country, camping out and doing exercises, military exercises, and training. And I was in the fire directional area, which we would be practicing how to fire rockets, the Honest John rocket and the 8-inch howitzer, which is a large gun, military gun.
Yeah.
And so that's what I did in the military.
You end up.
We would do the calculations as to how to set the azimuth on the gun, which was directional. It would give you the height and the distance for a target.
Okay, so you're like
we
a
had to
numbers guy.
calculate that mathematically.
Yeah, so you're definitely a numbers guy, like with the
Yeah.
financing and
So
with the calculations.
if you were good at mathematics, you were
Yeah.
pulled out of the ranks and put into they called it the fire directional, which would allow us to be able to hit a target 8 miles away, 20 miles away, or the rockets shoot it.
Yeah, you're like.
We did have a couple of near misses at Watertown where it was miscalculated or it went off too soon and nearly blew up the town. It landed a little short, but it was, accidents do happen in the military.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a part of the field, you always got to be prepared for something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you joined when you were 20, and how long did you stay in for?
I was in for like 5 years.
5 years.
In total.
And you still go up to the Catskills during those 5 years, and then after that, from 25 to your 70s, how do you think your career changed within that span?
Well, I continued to play the music and continued to work in finance.
Yeah.
So basically, it didn't change dramatically until I ended up getting ill.
Yeah.
I got this disease, which is, it looks like that singer Mary has it now. Mary, what was her? Celine Dion, what's her name?
Oh, Celine Dion.
A neurological disorder in her,
Neuropathy?
yeah. Yeah, she has the same nerve problem.
Yeah.
It's very rare. Only 1 people out of 100,000 get it.
Is it encephalopathy?
Yeah,
Yeah.
polyneuropathy.
Oh, okay.
A lot of people get neuropathy,
Yeah.
which affects the hands and feet. But polyneuropathy affects the nerves, and it affects your walking and your balance.
Yeah.
And that's what what's her name again? Celine.
Celine Dion?
Yes,
Like that?
Celine Dion.
Yeah.
I think that's it, yeah. Yeah.
So that if you do the calculations for that, it will be 20 people out of 1 million would get it, which is very rare. It's a very rare disease. But
Celine Dion.
yeah,
Yeah. It's
so that kind of stopped my career playing the music.
yeah. But I mean there's always something you could be doing, you know?
I'm sorry?
There's always something you could be doing, you know? You could
Yeah.
always say music, like, I'm sure of it, but like it's a shame. It's a shame diseases like that, like what my mom just passed.
Yeah.
Patient had the multiple sclerosis and stuff like that, like ALS and stuff like
Yeah,
that. I really
that's-
do hope we find cures to
Yeah.
diseases like that in the future.
But as time went by, then I used to go to Florida every year to play.
Okay.
We had there's an Irish resort down in Florida. Used to bring me down because the Catskills all changed.
Mm.
It was taken over. You know, they sold the restaurants and the resort up there, and I ended up going to Florida in the summer, or I'm sorry, in the winter. One of it. You don't go to Florida in the summer.
Yeah, right.
You come back to New York.
Yeah.
Those were the good. It was a good time in Florida. The weather was great, and music was very profitable for me.
Yeah. And so when you went to Florida, was that someone from the Catskills telling you, hey, you should go check out this Florida gig, or like how'd you end up finding that Florida?
Yeah,
gig
there
in
was
the first place?
people that used to come up to the Catskills in the summertime to hear the Irish music up there, and there wasn't really no music in Florida for the Irish.
Yeah.
And there was a community every year that started to grow in the winter time.
Yeah.
You know, the winter time in New York would be warm down in Florida, so
Yeah.
everybody started to migrate
Florida,
towards
yeah.
Florida in the winter, and I ended up doing my gigs down there in the winter time.
That's cool. So what like time period was that for you? Like how old were you about when you started doing the gigs in Florida?
I would say probably 70, around 70.
Nice. That's really cool.
And I continued playing in Florida till I had got the polyneuropathy. About 78,
Yeah.
that started to really hamper me playing. And
Yeah. And did you did you get diagnosed when you were 78, or did you start noticing it when you were
I
78?
started noticing when I tried to pick up the accordion, you know, became more difficult, become more difficult to balance myself,
Yeah.
and then it became more difficult. My fingers wouldn't work as well, so gradually I had to give it up.
Yeah, and just hearing stuff like that makes you realize everything you have is a blessing. Really,
Yeah.
everything you have is a blessing every day.
Yeah.
Seriously. For
It really
you
is.
don't know when anything can be taken away from you. You have no idea. You gotta be grateful. But you can definitely I don't think your music career is over. I think if you still wanted to, you could still perform musically if you wanted to on some level. Like you could still sing.
Well, I
Something
can
like that.
sing, yes.
Yeah.
I can still sing.
Yeah.
I actually, a lot of my singing over the years too was at masses for funerals and even my own family. We've went from 13 children down to there's only 3 of us still alive.
Yeah.
So it happens to all families, I guess,
Yeah.
over the years.
Exactly. Like, yeah, my mom comes from a big family. It's like the same type of thing. Like, she's
Yeah.
1 of 10. So, yeah. It's just natural. It's how it goes, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. People come and go, you know?
So, are you going to design web pages or?
Web design is like part of what I do, like what I do and what I can do. Like right now, I was telling you before I started recording. Like I just finished a school course for web design, and that whole course I was just making a website for one of my personal brands.
Right.
Yeah, and I have a personal brand called Burn Media and Art, and it's like an advertising agency. So I was just making a website for all of that.
And is that profitable for you? Do you get paid for that, or
As of right now, it's I'm just being educated, but it can be profitable. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I hope it is in the future.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And how many years would it be before you graduate?
So I graduate next spring, and then after that, I'm thinking about just doing AmeriCorps, which is like a disaster relief type of thing where I could travel the world.
Okay.
So yeah. You know, I mean, just with everything in the last 5 years and everything with COVID and everything, it's just everything's been so hectic. It's just it's better to just keep things kind of like play it by ear.
Yeah.
Because you can't really have anything in place. Like
Well, there seems to be a lot of disaster relief, so
yeah.
you'll be busy, David.
Yeah, I'll be busy. Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah. Yeah.
You're not involved in any of this spy work, I hope.
Spy work?
Like TikTok.
Oh yeah, you know about that? The spy. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on with
And
TikTok.
Chinese are infiltrating.
Yeah, I mean with technology, I gotta agree because with a lot of these there's a company called Tencent, and I want to say they have the majority share of TikTok, and then because of that, and because they operate in China, they can be seized by the CCP and just like get all the data straight from Americans. So yeah, and a lot of kids my age don't even know about that.
No,
they don't even talk about that.
They're stealing all our secrets.
Yeah.
They are.
Yeah. It's an information war. It really is an information war. And I know that's it could be cheesy to say that, but it's definitely true. Yeah, it's a wild time we live in.
And the Chinese do not make as good as equipment as the U.S.
Yeah, that's okay.
You're sitting now in my apartment. I have a dishwasher, a cooking range, and an air conditioner that was all manufactured in the USA prior to 1973, and they're all still working.
Right. Yeah, a lot of the American.
I bought a toaster made in China. It lasted 2 months, and I had to throw it out and buy a new one.
Yeah.
So
The China
made in the USA is
built to last.
Still built to last.
Yeah.
If you get a made by GE,
Yeah, General Electric.
as long as they're not parts are not made in China. So
You have anything you want to ask?
You want to ask about his records?
Oh, yeah. So run me through these 3 records I have right here. Which one of these did you make first?
I made the lovely dearest first. The yellow
one?
That's
jacket.
the one that we have.
This is one I saw. Yeah. So.
Where
this
did
one-
you see that?
I saw.
We have one from years ago from my
Yeah.
mom and dad.
Oh, my
had.
this one.
goodness.
And I've seen some of it online and stuff like that. I've
Yeah.
seen like this photo online.
Yeah, from years ago. I
Yeah.
remember.
Oh my goodness.
And you recorded this in the Catskills? Or
No, I
Nara?
recorded that in New York City.
New York City? Yeah.
Yeah.
And do you remember where in New York City?
Probably says it on maybe on the record.
I'm sorry?
It might say it on the back of the record.
It just says.
This is the first part of the interview with Jimmy Mcphail. It was a school assignment for my college, and if you'd like to see the full version, I have it available on Patreon. Sorry guys, but I gotta keep the lights on. Big dog's gotta eat, okay? So it was pretty clear in that interview that I was nervous and kind of all over the place, and I apologize about that. It's like one of my first times actually doing a solid interview with someone who has a lot of credibility and at the same time has a lot of age on me. So I learned a lot from the experience, and I just want to say I had a blast, and yeah, hope you enjoyed. Later.